everyone, welcome to Awkward Author. My name is Alyssa Grasso, and this is my weekly vlog and podcast about my sometimes awkward, always awesome author life. So this week I am back in the writing saddle. Last week I had my parents visiting, and then as a result of my parents visiting, I was playing catch up for the rest of the week to try to get everything done that I need to get done. If you can see boxes at the edge of the screen here, this is actually... I'm not moving again, don't worry. It's actually just day business stuff, some stuff I have to ship out. So I am pretty much caught up on, everything that I was behind on last week, and now I'm back doing the writing thing. Definitely in a good mood. Writing puts me in a good mood because it's something I love to do. As you know from my author income reports, it's not something I really make much money from yet, but there's always the future, right, guys? And anyway, for me, having any kind of creative outlet, definitely just, improves my mood a lot. And writing, for me is, just a passion. It always has been. So, when I get a chance to really do some writing, I'm happy. And so yesterday, Monday for me was a huge writing day. I worked on, I wrote a chapter I have a collaboration project going on with another author. So I wrote my next chapter for that project, which I've been putting off for a little while, so that's my fault. But I'm happy with how it turned up. I want to turned out, not turned up. I'm happy with how it turned out, and I do want to take a look at it and just go over it again before I send it off to her, and then she'll send me her next chapter. That's how we've been working on this book, which is a thriller. Another adult thriller. And speaking of thrillers, I also worked yesterday on my next book, which is going to be the second book in a three-part series, a trilogy of adult thriller novels. So I think I'm at 38,000 words roughly on that book, which probably isn't too much more than the last time I gave you an update on it, but at the same time, I do feel, very confident that I'm making some good progress on this book, and, it's coming along nicely. I do have everything, pretty much outlined out, although, I do make changes along the way as something comes to me, or, as I'm working and you realize, oh, okay, this would fit really well if this happened next kind of thing. So, for those of you who feel like outlines take all the joy out of writing, they really don't, but to me, they give you a framework so that you don't get lost along the way, which happens. I know it happens. It's happened many times to me, so that I really love having that outline for that reason, because it really helps me to keep going forward, even though, I will sometimes change the outline or, deviate from it at least slightly. I even wrote a blog post, not for my own blog, but I don't really have my own blog. I just, put little updates and stuff on my website. But I do write for a group blog where we each have one day of the month that we write for. So I wrote my latest post for YA Outside the Line. So I got that written as well. And, I think it helps. I mean, it depends on, what you like to do and stuff. But having to do that every month, I think helps because it changes the pace for you. I mean, it's a nonfiction post as opposed to writing fiction. And so it's still creative, though. You still have to be creative about it. And we have a different topic each month that we write on. And, you can obviously approach the topic in any way you like. And it gets things it gets you thinking about things and gets gears turning. For example, this month, the topic was a book that changed our lives. And I had one in mind that I was going to write about. Actually, I was going to write about the emotional lives of farm animals by... Okay, I'm probably going to butcher his name, but his name is Jeffrey Messiah Mason. Anyway, it's... it's a book about animals and their emotional intelligence, I guess you will say. Which for me, I'm a vegetarian, and that's one of the books that really convinced me to go vegetarian. And so it definitely had a huge impact on me, and, that's pretty much a straightforward way of approaching the topic of a book that changed your life, and so that's what I was going to write about. But I think I've written about that before, and also, I don't know, I get bored with like straightforward approaches like myself. Like I don't mind reading them from others, but if it's something I'm writing, I kind of want to like approach things from an angle and be a little different because that's just how I am. I'm a little bit of a weirdo, I guess. So the book that I ended up writing about, well, is Brown Bear, Brown Bear. What do you see? Specifically the board book version. Specifically a specific board book version that in my years working at back in my days working as a children's librarian during a particularly eventful baby story time, when flying, hit a mom in the face. It was quite the morning for what had already been quite the week, and so you can read my whole post if you want. I'll link to it below, but basically that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me as far as like, okay, I need to change my life. Like I love libraries and I loved working in a library, but it was stressful and it wasn't the life I really wanted for myself. I wanted to write books, and here I was working at this crazy public library where there's always something crazy going on, and it took a lot of more than just time, because there was like an emotional involvement until you come home from work and you're all stressed and you're not really in a frame of mind to write because you really need to unwind because like, oh my gosh, like there was always something crazy going on. I mean, that week had been just like a killer week, and they weren't all like that, but that was kind of the thing that kind of convinced me, like, okay, I really gotta get my head around this and think about things better and figure out a way that I can have a job that isn't driving me crazy and also write my books. And so that got me pointed in that direction, although it would be several months before I would actually make the leap and leave my library job, take a sales job, complete my novel, that sort of thing. But yeah, so what started it all was Brown Bear, Brown Bear, what do you see? And so if you want to read the whole story, of course, again, follow the link below in the description. And yeah, I that's how I approached, the book that changed your life topic that we had this week, or this month anyway. But yeah, if you are, if you're looking for writing challenges or something to that effect, I would definitely consider, getting involved in like a group blog thing. Obviously there's no money to be made in it. I don't think there's much in terms of promotion that's going to come out of it, but you never know. It does expose you to a different audience because we have, I don't know that we have 30 different writers that are part of the blog, but we have quite a few. Each day of the month just about is somebody else's posting day. And so, just like when you do like a group giveaway or something like that, you can kind of tap into everyone else's audience as well. Now, most of it is we're reading each other's posts and things like that, but you never know what comes of it. Something that I wrote for YA Outside the Lines a few months back now, just got shared, by someone on Twitter. It was talking about, like the term, why I don't like the term, young adult, because it's like, such a ridiculous term for a category of books, because they're not actually written for young adults. They're written for teens who aren't yet adults. And then there's, the category new adult, which is for actual young adults, and just the confusing ways that publishing decides to label categories of books. But anyway, so that post ended up getting shared on Twitter by someone I didn't even know. So you never know what comes of putting these different things out there in the world. It's out there on the internet, and you never know who's going to find it. So, I would definitely encourage you, to either, start your own group blog or, find a group blog out there that's looking for writers, whether it's, related to your genre, related to one of your passions or what. because it's just good practice, I think, and it helps to, you know, jumpstart your creativity and get you thinking about things a little bit differently too. Now, another thing you can do is just, you know, write your own blog posts or write for like Medium, you know, find a Medium publication and write some posts for them. There's some different ways to, you know, go about stretching those creative muscles and doing some nonfiction writing that, you know, can ultimately bring you some attention to your fiction and also, you know, just, you know, like exercise for your writing muscles, I guess. And speaking of muscles, yesterday was the first day of basically having like an all-day writing day with my new laptop stand, which I was showing off last week, and I have to say, definitely improvement. You know, I was a little sore at the end of the day, maybe, but that's what comes with being 43, guys. You're just going to be a little sore at the end of the day no matter what. But no, I think it worked pretty well, and I think it is working out pretty well. So I'm definitely happy that I made that very small investment. But yeah, that's really all that I have going on right now. Like I said, I'm continuing to work on this, you know, the second book in the trilogy. I'm hoping, well, I hate to put stuff out there because I don't know if I can meet these goals, but I'm hoping that, like, say by the middle of July, which is really like, really about a month away, that I will be done with a first draft. That's my goal, and I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed and try to stick to it. Never know what's gonna happen in the meantime. Never gonna know, you know, what changes I make. For me, one of the biggest challenges is, you know, just staying focused on a single project because, you know, every day there's like new ideas that are coming there. There's shiny ideas, and it's like, oh, that's the book I really want to work on, or I just want to, you know, write that. And even I have to say, like, last week, the week before, I did a little bit of writing on, you know, a completely new, different project because it was just like there were these ideas in my head and I wanted to get some stuff down on paper or on screen. Really, it's not on paper. So I did work on that some, and you know, it takes away from my main project, but I have been pretty good about, you know, staying focused and, you know, obviously, you know, with some little detours here and there, you know, but working on, you know, one project at a time and trying to keep myself to a sort of schedule as far as, you know, getting the writing done and, you know, getting the book out there. Because I would like to have, like, you know, by the fall, by like October, I'd like to be in the process of, you know, getting these books ready for publication. I don't know. I'm thinking realistically, they probably won't get published till the new year. Just, you know, that for me, the end of the year gets pretty busy with the day job stuff, and, you know, I have to really think about, you know, things. And I don't want to rush the publication. I mean, I want to do like a rapid release thing, but I also want to, you know, make sure they're fully edited, make sure the covers are good, you know, have everything set up, not like be like, okay, I have to get this out by, you know, October 15th, and, you know, and be kind of rushing towards that deadline, because I kind of did that last year when I put out Girl Most Likely to Succeed, and a part of it was like when the timing of the book was set, so it was like it made sense to release it, you know, in October, because like the book was actually set in like that year, which I'm not doing that with these books. They're definitely much more general, you know. I don't have like an actual calendar date in there, which would be a tip for you, because especially if you're going traditional route, you know, when you have dates in there, I mean, the publishing world moves slowly, so, you know, if you have like a book that's set in like, say, 2019, or, well, let's say you have a book set in 2020, you're trying to like get it published now, well, it's probably not going to be out till 2021, so you know, that could you know, wreak havoc with things, of course. But anyway, you know, if it depends on the story you're writing. Sometimes you need to actually have that date there, and I had some specific things in Girl Most Likely to Succeed, so that's why I had it that way. I am not, these books that I'm working on now, they are like date specific. Like, I mean, they take place at certain times of the year because of things that are happening in them, but it could be any year. So not going to worry too much about that as far as the release schedule. And yeah, I mean, by the fall, I'd like to be working on getting them ready for publication, getting everything set up, and then maybe sometime in the new year, hopefully. If not sooner. If it's sooner, I'll take it. But let's go I'm shooting for like early in the new year to get these books out. And that'll also give me some time to, figure out my marketing strategy, because I think that's a big important part of the release, and I want to make sure I get that right, because as you know, I'm continuing to struggle to figure out a good way to market my books, and that is one reason I'm working on the trilogy, as I've said before, because I think there are some things you could do with marketing a trilogy that you can't do with marketing standalone books, and I am struggling, guys, to market standalone books. It is a tough slog for me, so still trying to figure things out, but that is the plan at the moment. So on that note, I am going to sign off, and I will be back again next week. As I've said, I put out these videos and podcasts every week, just talking about what's going on in my author life and writing and books and all that good stuff. And sometimes if there's anything interesting going on in my regular life, but mostly it's a pretty quiet life I lead. That's because I don't work in a public library anymore. So yeah, check out that post. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, please feel free to, like, subscribe, comment. And if you're interested in learning more about me, you can visit my website, which is alissagrosso.com. That's ALISSAGROSSO.com. And I will see you and talk to you all again next week. Have a great week, and happy writing, happy reading, and just have some fun out there, guys.